everybody. Chanel here again with part 2 on my weight loss journey. Doing a little disclaimer again. What worked for me might not work for everyone else. Okay. I have my notes here because I needed to go through like the weight gain. Now, so we're in March of 2019. How can I explain this? Okay. Jabari officially moves to Rhode Island in October 2018 after I've been there a month by myself. So now we're in our newlywed lives. Fast forward to March 2019. I'm trying to remember. We're talking about birth control. I was on birth control since I was a freshman in college. I am now a wife. How old was I? 24? 23? 24. I was 24 at this time. Okay. March 2019, made a decision to stop taking the birth control pill and start taking Nexplanon. I really hope I can find this picture. That's important because this birth control made me gain so much weight. I remember April, maybe May of that year, I hit 230. Remember, September, October 2018, I'm 200. That was cool. Just gotta tone up a bit. No. Get on birth control. Nexplanon to be exact. That's the one that they put inside of your arm. It's an implant in your arm. Right? That made me gain a lot of weight. I also, my freshman year of college, I was on, what is it called? Depo? I was on Depo, okay? The college weight, it was due to Depo too. I mean, I wasn't eating the best, but I was on that birth control. Now we're on Nexplanon. I was on the pill in between. Nexplanon in the arm. I have a picture of it because something really weird happened to my Nexplanon. I know when you get something inserted or a shot or something, you get a bruise. No, my bruise stayed there the whole entire time that I had it in my arm. I eventually got it taken out. But anywho, let's keep in the spring, summer of 2019. So my mom is able to come visit and hang with us. Again, Rhode Island is so expensive because she wanted to get her own hotel so she can explore. We can come hang out, whatever. Listen, the Motel 6 in the city we lived in, Newport, Rhode Island, the Motel 6 was $3-something a night. So just imagine how much the other hotels were. So my mom was like, absolutely not. I'm going to come stay with y'all. Perfect. Like, I haven't seen my mom since September. This works out. Actually, we saw her Mother's Day. I don't remember what month my mom came. I think it had to be before Mother's Day or after. Either way, I saw my mom back to back, okay? But remember, from fall 2018 to spring, summer 2019, I had not seen my mom, who I've lived with my whole life. Yeah, very sad, very depressed. Yeah. But in this time, I've started going to the gym. I was changing my diet. I actually followed this fitness instructor. He lives in Miami. I can't think of his name right now, but he was doing like online challenges, whatever, which what was prompting me to get on the scale, which I saw that at that time I weighed this much. With his workout plan, diet, I think I actually lost 10 pounds. I just couldn't afford to keep doing the challenges or be under him as a trainer, if that makes sense. So I tried to keep going with my own workout routine, my own diet. Of course, it did not work, but I know I was able to maintain that 230-ish range, okay? Cool. We fast forward to November 2019. I was presented the opportunity by another business area at my job in Rhode Island. So I was doing procurement, it taught me a lot, and it also was able to get me this opportunity. So another business area approached me, which is really cool because I worked in Rhode Island, and this business sector has a base in the Bahamas, but the team is based out of West Palm Beach. So I was approached, hey, we know you're from Florida. We actually have someone who would like to move back to Rhode Island because Rhode Island is their hometown, and you would be able to move back to Florida. Sign me up. Yeah, please, thank you. So that transition happens. It was not smooth. You know how the federal government is, and if you don't, I'm telling you, it's not smooth. So I didn't start that job until like December 2nd, 2019. Now this is really important because 2020 for everybody gets a little hectic. So we end up moving back to Florida. My sister-in-law Sherelle ended up flying to Rhode Island to help us drive back to Florida. And we broke it up into 2 days. So we did Rhode Island to Virginia or South Carolina. South Carolina, that sounds more realistic. And then South Carolina all the way to Central Florida. Y'all, when I say when we pulled up to that hotel in South Carolina, Jabari calls me. It was like, please don't freak out, but they don't have a 2-bed room, so it's one king and then a pull-out couch. And of course, my sister-in-law's with us, so we need somewhere for her to sleep. So she's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, if you know Sherelle, this makes sense. But she was like, yeah, that's fine. I'll take the pull-out couch. And I can hear him telling the front desk, like, my wife is a little crazy. Like, if she comes in here upset, I'm sorry. Y'all, when I say I was delirious, I remember going into the hotel room and I'm laughing and crying because I'm almost home. Like, being away from family for that long, my niece, my nephew, it was only one niece, one nephew at the time. I have a couple now, but my niece and my nephew, being away from them for that long, it was eating me up. Being away from family, it was traumatizing. So I'm just happy that we're almost there. But we're gonna fast forward. We make it to Orlando, and we then move to my mom's hometown, which is Coolston, Florida. We moved there for about a month because I started my job in West Palm and we're saving up again. Federal government does not pay that much, so you gotta do what you gotta do. We end up moving to, remember, we're in the end of 2019. Come January 2020, we move into our apartment. So I'm new to my job. My boss actually tells me that I have to fly back to Rhode Island to go train some more procurement folks up in Rhode Island because the process is not flowing. I don't remember. I had to go back to Rhode Island a couple times, and remember, my job is now based in the Bahamas, so I'm actually due there a couple times a month. Cool. Autumn, you're gonna go to Rhode Island. January, February, you'll start your Bahamas stuff. March. Okay, we're getting into March. March 14th, 2020, my boss calls an emergency meeting and tells us that you guys have to go home right now because of COVID-19. We don't know for how long. We don't know what's going to happen, how we're going to run our programs, but you got to go home. So if you need to take your desk, take it. You need to take your monitors, take them. If you need more monitors, grab them, whatever. And it's crazy because that was my last time ever seeing her, and she was so sweet. So in the time of COVID, woo, that was different. Everything was shutting down. Everything was shutting down. I couldn't find a mask to save my life. So I remember we got kicked out of a grocery store because we didn't have masks. So we ended up getting like 500 off of Amazon. And I'm glad that we had that many because we used every last one between both of us, my husband and I. Okay. Transparency. In the midst of COVID, my husband ended up losing his job dealing with education, and he ended up working for a mail carrier. Okay, that is really tough. Can't afford a gym membership because we're trying to figure out how we're going to live off of 1.5 income, right? We're doing it. God will put you through the storm, but bring you out even better. Cool. So in this time of me not working out, me making the best out of what I can do, I remember, what grocery store was it? Some grocery store, they had neck bones for $2. I was buying them by grows because that's what we could afford. Spaghetti, stuff that would last. Plus the weight of the world and what's going on. Killing of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. It was a lot, and like I said, I'm a very emotional person, so the weight of the world was really on me. Okay, so in 2020, and I have the same scale that I bought in 2020 when we moved to West Palm. Yes, I have that same scale. That's the same scale I use now. I like to see my data, so I have it pulled up. Ooh, okay. And if you do not believe me, I have it. I honestly I might throw this in since I'm saying it, might as well. Honestly, I don't think, let me see. Okay. I vividly remember going to the doctor when I was in West Palm, and I was well over 270. But anywho, on this, and I'm looking at my laptop, it looks like at this time, which was 2020, I'm at 250 something. And that sounds about right, like 255. I'm looking at myself on my phone, but the actual numbers are on my phone. I might go ahead and insert that right here. So that's where my weight was. So in this time, I started going to the gym. I see my eating habits, besides us trying to figure out what we're going to do with the 1.5 income, my eating habits outside of that were never bad to everyone else. Like, again, people thought that I gained so much weight because I was eating too much. Wasn't the case. I was really gaining weight because I was depressed. And as I'm thinking that life is finally getting back on track, I'm able to be in Florida. I'm back with family. I'm able to see my mom. Yada yada. The world shuts down. We moved December 2019 back to Florida. World shut down in March. Okay, so in this time, I am battling between 250 something and 260 something. Like, we going back and forth between them numbers. It was hectic throughout that whole year. So I remember Thanksgiving 2020. I was on Instagram, and I believe I saw this lady who was doing like Thanksgiving challenges. If you want to transform your life in the coming year, start now, not New Year's, sign up for these challenges. And I will insert these pictures, which I believe I showed on Instagram before. These are those pictures. That was me at my highest. I am not ashamed. I was beautiful then. I'm beautiful now. I know that. I just want to be as transparent as possible. Okay? This part 2 is me at my heaviest. Yeah. Okay. So we're with the challenges trainer type of vibe. I was able to lose some weight, just not what I wanted to be back to normal. I would have taken like that 200. That was where my goal was. I was okay with being at 200. But I just couldn't get there. It was tough. It was really tough. So now we're going to fast forward to We're going to fast forward to 2021. July 2021, I decided that I couldn't do my salary anymore, this is going to be crazy. Y'all going to be like, Autumn, that makes no sense. So I got on federal government website. I applied to a position in Homestead, Florida. Okay. That's past Miami. But I was making more money. Kinda. Because if you know, South Florida is very expensive, and Homestead, boy, you cannot get the bang for the buck down there. Like, no. It's very expensive. But I was able to elevate my career. Like, all the moving I'm mentioning is because of me being in the federal government. I found, me personally, this is my experience, that I would not have been able to do everything I've done, get my clearances, whatever, if I did not move to Rhode Island. Okay, so July 2021. Again, wow, things might be starting to look up. Cool. July 2021 goes by. August 2021 goes by. September comes. Okay. So my mom calls my brother and I. Hold on, I need my husband. I'm so sorry, y'all, but if I'm gonna be transparent, thank you, y'all. I'm in perfect family position, so I asked Jabari to bring me tissue. I need tissue. Cause I'm in September of 2021, so now I gotta talk about my mom. I gotta talk about Auntie Val. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do that without crying. Like, I tried. Love you too. Bye. Thank you. Okay, so yeah. Okay. September 2021, my mom calls my brother and I knew it was strange because she don't ever call my brother and I together. I'm sorry, my husband is watching football outside, and yeah, if you hear him. Anywho, I knew something was off. Like, I knew. If you know me, you know, like, the way I feel, I have to always go with my gut. Always. My auntie Dakota says I have the spirit of discernment. I believe her. My mom calls my brother and I on a three-way FaceTime, and she's like, hey, I just want to let y'all know, doing a regular appointment, the doctor found something in my breast and they want to investigate further. So my brother is asking all the questions, all the right questions, right? I scoop my phone out the way and I'm literally boohoo crying. Boohoo crying, okay? So again, I've moved to a new city, and just to give a little background on my job at that time, I couldn't have my phone or any electronics with me. So my communication while at work, I wasn't working from home. Unlike when I was in West Palm, I was able to work from home during COVID. Not this job. I had to go in the office. My only communication with my mom would be my office phone, which I shared with 2 other people. So I immediately start thinking about that. Because I'm like, well, when is your biopsy? She doesn't know yet. I'm all over the place. So for about a month, that's up in the air. Y'all, I remember Jabari came home late that day. I'm laid out on the floor because I cannot talk. Like, I cannot talk. I already knew what would come to fruition. I'm praying. I'm literally in a puddle of tears as he comes through the door, and I just tell him, hey, my mom, they said they found something in her breast, and we won't know until this, that, and the third, okay? So, y'all, I'm not eating at this time. Like, I'm a zombie. I'm going to sleep crying. I'm waking up crying. It was a hard time for me. So what happened? Autumn gains weight. So about a month later, yeah, we're not gonna play with them glasses because it's not stopping. But I'm gonna keep going. A month later, this week, this week I'm about to explain. It's probably one of the worst weeks of my life. I don't even remember the day, right? So my mom was contacting her sisters, her best friends, her girl squad more than me, which understanding, because I'm pretty sure knowing my mom, she's like, y'all, I don't know what I'm gonna tell Autumn. And I just felt like she was avoiding me, right? So I don't remember what day this was, but my Aunt Takoa calls me and she said, where are you? And I immediately start crying because I think she's going to tell me that my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. That's not what she told me. She told me that my Aunt Valerie, who is my mom's best friend, passed away. And I lose it. I lose it. Because I'm like, God, how my mama gonna do this without her best friend? One second. Okay, I don't mean to cry, but again, I'm a very emotional person, and this is just my journey. And as I'm talking about it, I'm starting to notice a trend. I'm starting to notice a trend of progression, and then God being like, so again, I don't remember what day this was. I don't know if it was a Monday to Wednesday or a Wednesday to Friday. Maybe a Wednesday to Friday. Find out that my Aunt Val passed away. I'm calling my mom again. She's not answering me. This week, I'm telling you, she was just avoiding me. And I don't know what to do. Like, my mom has two best friends, Monty Val and Monty Nisi, and they're both her person. So when that happened, I was in shambles. I can only imagine my mom. I didn't really talk to her during this week again because she's dealing with a lot. Whatever. 2 days after finding out that my Aunt Valerie passed away, I find out that my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. Okay, enough of that. We found out that my mom was diagnosed October 18th, 2021. We find out that she was diagnosed. So now we're in planning phase, and I'm a planner like my whole life. Like I have it in my phone still of what we were gonna do. I coordinated her chemo and radiation schedule, who was gonna take her, what time, where. Like, I coordinated all of that. So my mom had her double mastectomy that December, and then she started chemo shortly after. And during this time, I am driving back and forth from Homestead, Florida to Orlando to take my mom to chemo. And in the midst of that, her friends, her good girls, her sisters, they were stepping in. So I'm very appreciative of that. Very appreciative. We get through chemo. She starts radiation. And at this point, I'm just like, Jabari, I need to be closer to my mom. So what do? We move again. And in this, I might go ahead and wrap this up once I say this. So I ended up applying to a defense contracting company, and I ended up being able to relocate back to Orlando, where I lived with my mom for a couple of months. Jabari was still in Homestead, and he eventually transferred that January. We're back into the groove. I'm able to help my mom, which was my plan. I'm able to save up for my house. This is where that started. So in the next video, I'm going to explain how toxic job environment got me to where I am now. And that's going to be part 3. This was part 2. Again, I'm sorry for the emotions, but here we are. You want transparency. Oh, I do want to say though, when my mom was in chemo, and radiation, I had a Disney pass. It was hard to go to the gym during this time because if I'm not in Orlando, I am back in Homestead at my apartment sleep. Like, I was tired. I remember my mom had her port. She had to get a port inserted for chemo, and I took her to surgery. I drove down and took her there, was at the hospital with her, took her home, made sure she was good before her girlfriend got there. And then I got back on the road and was at work the next day. Like, very exhausting days. But when I say I appreciate my family at Homestead, especially Remy, Remy held me down. Like, this turned me into a different person, and he understood it. He was patient with me, just the coworker I needed. I met Alyssa during this time, who's now one of my best friends. And then, of course, I have my husband. I have my other best friends, my god sister. The support during this time really, really kept me up. So, we're going to stop here. And we're going to go ahead with part 3, which should be the wrapping up. I believe I have said what I need to say. If I didn't say it, I don't remember. But the Disney Pass was my way of working out because it wasn't a gym. Like, gas. Oh, and then I had a Jeep Renegade at the time, right? My Jeep had no AC. All my money was going to rent and gas to take care of my mom. My best friend Alyssa ended up paying to get my AC fixed. Man, when I tell you, I met Alyssa 2021 and instant connection. You would think that we've known each other for 15 years and we haven't known each other that long, but she really took care of me, and I appreciate her, like, even to today. So yeah, that's enough for this video. I hope you got some insight on it. This next video, we're gonna talk about the toxic job to how we got to where we are now. See you in a bit. I'm looking for somebody I can call. Looking for the only one I can get my own. Tell me that it's you. What you wanna do. You can be my teacher, I'll do home. You can give me extra credit, baby.